Transform beauty into melody and reshape spring into a beat. My chords can bring any summer to life.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, we're going to talk about EIRA. And I don't know if it's still ongoing, but when I first started playing Dislyte, she is the esper that you will get if you first top up into the game. And that is a really good choice, because usually every single game developer, especially the mobile game, they will give you a first top up esper or heroes or character that will definitely gonna make your life much easier. And it is the same case for EIRA. She is insanely good in fighting stronger enemies, because her main purpose is to prevent the enemy from getting a turn at all, and she is the best in doing that job. So let's take a look at her skill. The first skill attacks one enemy, damage 120% attack, normal attack damage, and 25% chance of gaining one turn. This is important. This is insanely good, because usually a skill that gives you a bonus turn usually happens in the second or the third skill. But for EIRA's case, it is on her basic ability, and that changes everything, because basic ability can be triggered with many ways. You can use Avatara to trigger this, you can use the relief set. Is it a relief set? Yes, the relief set. This one can trigger your basic ability if your allies cast another basic ability. So if your ally casts basic ability and EIRA happen to use her basic ability, she has a chance to get another turn that she can use to cast her own skill, not only her basic ability. And then there are also esper that can call you for using basic ability, like someone like Liam, someone like Chuyao, someone like Alice, etc. They can give you a chance to get called to do a assist attack for them, and if you happen to trigger this 25% chance, you're gonna be able to move straight away. And it will give you a chance to reduce your other skill cooldown, because this is a bonus turn. This is not a pursuit attack, this is not an assist attack, it is not happening on other esper turn. It happens on your own turn, so your cooldown will get reduced. But remember, this 25% chance is not affected by anything. So even though you increase your accuracy to 100%, this chance will not get increased. It will always gonna be a fixed 25% chance. So you just gotta have to be lucky to trigger this. But this is insanely strong, like almost borderline OP. Now, going into the second skill, dispel all debuffs from one ally. Really good. But the best part about this skill is all ability cooldowns of the ally minus one turn. And this is what you aim for, not really the main purpose, but this is one of the things that makes EIRA OP. On top of all the other utility that she can give to you, she can also reduce your ability cooldowns by one turn, but only for one ally. Well, it's already enough, because the cooldown of this skill itself is only 3 turns. So every 3 turns you will be able to reduce your ally's cooldown by 1. And then it also grants Brisingament's Watch to the ally for 2 turns. And what Brisingament's Watch do? It is a silver buff that makes your ally cannot be debuffed, and at the end of an ally's turn, the carrier's AP plus 15%. So cannot be debuffed also includes stun. So your allies now cannot be stopped. It cannot be debuffed, it cannot be stopped. They need to dispel this Brisingament's Watch first for them to be able to do anything to you. And then, because every time your allies move, the carriers gain 15% AP. So you have 5 esper in your lineup, except for the carrier of this Brisingament's Watch buff. Your 4 allies will contribute 15% AP each. That means that your esper who get this Brisingament's Watch buff will get 60% AP bonus from all of these allies. And that will guarantee, almost guarantee, that even the slowest esper will definitely get their turn to move, even when they have zero speed, like zero bonus speed. Okay, now I cannot say that because of Wuyo, like Wuyo literally have zero speed. Now I need to clarify that the zero speed is on the bonus. Like even when you don't have any bonus speed, you will be able to move because of Brisingamen Swords. That is how strong this Brisingamen Swords is. And then on the third skill, attacks all enemies, damage 120% attack, 20% higher than an AoE's normal attack damage, and then enemy AP minus 30%. This is similar to Selin's third skill, enemy AP minus 30%. But instead of inflicting sleep, this one inflicts speed down, which is far superior than sleep. Because when you afflict sleep on your enemies, the enemies can be woken up by any source of damage or even from poison. But speed down is a normal debuff, like it cannot be removed aside from cleanse. So because of this, like the enemy AP already get reduced, now they will be slowed down by 30%. And because of the Brisingamen Swords giving you a very high speed to the ones that have this buff, if you give this Brisingamen Swords to EIRA herself, she will be able to keep on spamming her third skill. Because aside from this skill having 3 turns cooldown, you also reduce the cooldown from using your second skill to yourself, reducing this cooldown to only 2 turns. And also because of the AP bonus, you will have a chance to move again like very soon to reduce the cooldown by another 1 that will make you able to rotate these 3 turns cooldown really fast. Not mentioning, if you also get a chance to trigger Avatara and trigger this bonus turn, that all will reduce this third skill cooldown. And if you get lucky, you can cast this third skill every single turn. Also, if you do use ocean equipment, like this one, the ocean set, this will have a chance to reduce all ability cooldowns by 1 turn, because this skill doesn't mention anywhere that it cannot be, the cooldown cannot be affected. So it can be reduced, the cooldown of this can be reduced by Ocean Wave. So that is insanely good. And if you have EIRA Ascension to level 3, then it also resets the cooldown on Divine Love. Although when EIRA use her AI, like they will prioritize casting her third ability, and then after that the second ability. So the first the first Sea Breeze Sonata cast will not refresh the Divine Love because it is not on cooldown yet. But once you have this on cooldown, then you cast your second skill. Usually if this casted to EIRA, then you will be able to use your third skill really fast. And by that time, your second skill will still be on cooldown, and this reset cooldown will happen. Now, this just ensure that every time you cast your third skill, the next skill that you cast will be your second skill. How good is that? No matter how much cooldown is happening on the second skill. Now, on top of that, it also, if you have EIRA to Resonance 6, it grants 1 random ally Brisingamen Swords for 2 turns. So now you have 2 allies that have Brisingamen Swords. That is insanely good. Like you can have 2 allies that cannot be debuffed and also get 60% bonus AP once everyone take a turn. Insanely good as a support expert. Like you don't need her to deal damage, although the attack damage from her, coming from her, can be quite high because of the percentage number in here. But you do want to just focus on giving as much speed as possible as you can to EIRA. The rest of the stats, you don't really care where it goes, as long as it goes to speed and also accuracy. At the very minimum, you do want to get to a soft cap of 80% in here. So that's the only stats that EIRA need. So the captain ability here, increase ally attack by 24%. If you don't have any other captain that you can use in your lineup, then this one will increase your damage at least, and this will be really useful in Desolate Land. Like sometimes in Desolate Land or in Ritual Miracle, like EIRA, if you still unable to kill Kronos, like reliably, if you are still progressing through the game, like new player, then EIRA is going to be really good fighting against Kronos, because Kronos is very susceptible to AP down. So you can use EIRA to keep reducing the boss cooldown, and EIRA, because the nature of this Blazing Diamond Swords, if here's the AI, like the AI of Blazing Diamond Swords will prioritize allies that have debuff, and then next it will prioritize allies that have the lowest HP in your lineup. But if everybody is at 100% HP, it will go to the first Esper in line, which is the very left front allies, Esper, and most likely it's going to be the captain. So if you do want to aim your Blazing Diamond Swords to EIRA, you need EIRA to be the captain, and by that you will increase your allies attack by 24%. So if you want to think about the Blazing Diamond Swords here the all ability cooldowns of the ally -1 turn, like it's kind of like similar to Anki-Chai, although Anki-Chai's ability cooldowns reduction happened to 2 random allies, but for EIRA's case, you can at least control who will get the Blazing Diamond Swords if there is no damage taken on your allies at all. Now going to the growth, like I said, like EIRA is not really a damage dealer, like she doesn't really rely on her stats that much. So at level 50 herself, she already performed at her maximum capacity. So she's already good enough. You can save your Sterimon, you know, you don't really need EIRA to be level 60. And then going to her resonance, I've already explained the 6 resonance here, give an extra Blazing Diamond Swords. The first one gives her third skill final damage plus 10%. Second one, damage taken minus 80% before taking the first turn in combat. This is really good in PvP, because I'm going to talk about a little bit of history here. Very long time ago, when Dislyte first came out, the strongest PvP lineup was actually Longmian, Pritzker, EIRA, and Selene. Like, those 4 will make sure that the enemy have no turn to move at all. Like, that's a perfect control team, and you can still use them nowadays, but there are a lot of Esper that can counter-attack, that makes this lineup is no longer that reliable. Like Esper like Iki, Esper like Ana, Esper like Emma is the death of this perfect controller lineup. But this one, if you still do want to use this in PvP, like if you are still at lower tier PvP and you are like a new players, you can still use her in PvP, and this one will help you a lot. Now the 4th resonance, if there is an ability on cooldown speed plus 18, this is really good. If you do want to think about EIRA's resonance, like the most important one is the 4th resonance in here. Having an extra Blazing Diamond Swords in here is kind of like really good, but without it, it's not the end of the world. But giving her an extra speed makes sure that she can rotate her third skill much faster, which in turn make the enemy lose their turn more often, like much more reliable in preventing the enemy to move at all. Now going into her ascension, the best part about EIRA is that her 6th ascension gives speed plus 10. This is insanely good. Like every single Esper, if they require speed, like if they are fighting for speed, need for speed, then having the 6th ascension being speed plus 10 is insanely good. The only downside about EIRA is that her basic stats on speed is at 103. Right now, the fastest Esper in terms of their default speed is actually Chuyao at speed 108, and last time before Chuyao came out was Oldet at speed 107, and then the normal one, the fastest Esper, usually have speed at 106, so that's a little bit of benchmark there. So EIRA, even though she is really good, like her ascension gives her speed plus 10, her default stats, her basic stats speed is at 103. So she still really fast, but doesn't guarantee that she will be the first Esper to move in every single lineup. So that's it. But the other Ascension, giving bonus HP, bonus accuracy, this is really good because you also need accuracy. So this helps you in reaching that 80% accuracy needed. And the first one gives HP and defense. So yeah, she is not really a damage dealer. Like every single thing about her increase her survivability and her speed, but her skill damage is quite high. Yeah. Now the third Ascension here, like I said, is the one that resets the cooldown of the Divine Love, so on her third skill, so that is good, like you do need that. But then again, her best Ascension is on her sixth one, so you do want to get to the sixth Ascension here as soon as possible. Rival Rune, this is what is very much recommended for her. She needs to move really fast, of course with set, and then the Avatara, I've already explained how good it is if you can trigger Avatara on your first skill. And so the accuracy is needed for the speed down, and the AP reduction, it's not for this one, because this one is not affected by accuracy, so your accuracy will be for this one. Now into her Divinate. The Divinate, after casting Seabreeze Sonata, the bearer has a 100% chance of gaining 10% AP. Seabreeze Sonata is the third skill, so that's a much faster rotation for her. An extra bonus hit, like 10% AP is very much welcome. So this is really good Divinate. So for EIRA's use, at very early level, you can use her in clearing Ritual Miracle, especially Chronos, like I've said. I already said, like he is very weak against AP reduction, so you can use EIRA very early in the game, but when you no longer have problem with Chronos, then you can just use a pure DPS lineup, like what I have in here. So she is no longer needed in that. And then after that, in Falsetto Fantasy, if you do want to use her, like her ability cooldown reduction is really good, but the AP reduction is not gonna work for most of the bosses here. It works for Countess Sonica, but not for Dark Star Lord. You know, like Popeter can be affected by AP reduction too. So if you do need that, you can use that. But there are much better Esper in legendary category if you already progress into the end game. Like if you have played for a long time, there are much better options. Now her her main use is mostly in the Shadow Fire in here, because in the Shadow Fire you can only, in the hard version, you can only bring Flow Esper, and using the Flow Esper, EIRA is really strong because she can reduce allies cooldown here. So looking at Breville lineup here, he is currently the rank 1 player in Dislyte. His EIRA here will definitely gonna give Breezing Gammon Swords to Unas here, because Unas is on the very front left of the lineup. So she's gonna give it to Unas, and Unas will reduce his third skill cooldown, and his third skill cooldown gives allies attack up, and also the best one is give allies AP plus 30%. So being able to keep spamming AP plus 30% make all of this lineup move really fast, and that means that when the boss is stunned, you will have more chance into landing damage to the boss. And Swampin makes sure of the cannon buff being given to Tower for maximum damage. Zora is used for the captain ability, 40% attack damage, and then killing AoE damage for killing the minion together with EIRA and Unas, and then Liam for calling Tower as much as possible. Like Tower, you can, with Liam you can have like low speed, but Tower will keep on moving because he is being called to do damage by Liam and also by the AP boost coming from Unas. So this is really good lineup in here, and you can see that sometimes a lot of other players, like they sometimes use EIRA, sometimes not. So not really a must, but she will definitely help you if you are still progressing through the game. And the main purpose of her is in the Cube Miracle, Temporal Tower, and Infinite Tower. She is really good fighting against stronger enemies than her, because no matter how strong the enemy is, if they don't get a chance to move at all, if they don't get a turn to move, they deal 0 damage and they can just die slowly. You don't have any time limit to kill your enemies. So that's the use of EIRA in the PvE content in here. PvP I've already explained, really good control, but nowadays it is not enough because of so many counter-attack type Esper. So yeah, that's EIRA, guys. So very good Esper, and you know, hopefully you can get her at least at Resonance 4 very early in the game. She will help you a lot, and I do recommend to you know, upgrade your Abilimon at least for aim for the 3rd skill to reduce the cooldown, so you can get returns on this one. This will help a lot. Don't aim for this one because this one increase the damage, even though it increases the trigger chance, but the trigger chance is already low to begin with. You don't really want to gamble on it that much. So if you still having trouble with epic Abilimon and want to save them, yeah, you only need the 3rd skill in here, but this is insanely good to invest very early on in the game. So that's it for EIRA. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
A calm ocean